Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Atari Recharge Retro Revival Bundle of October 2024. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and have the opportunity to support the channel by buying a coffee through Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi. Stay tuned for shoutouts to last week's coffee supporters. Your support means the world to me, and I absolutely appreciate it beyond words can say. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Atari 50, the Anniversary Celebration, an immersive journey through the history of Atari's arcade machines, consoles, handhelds, and PCs. Developed by Digital Eclipse, this collection stands out by offering a unique interactive way to explore Atari's legacy. Instead of the usual museum-like presentation, you're given access to 103 games, with only 5 needing to be unlocked, letting you dive straight into the action. Digital Eclipse excels in creating collections that are more than just lists of emulated games. Here, the Extras menu is a game in itself, presented as a branching timeline, filled with playable games, documentaries, slideshows, scans, quotes, and artifacts. This approach makes exploring Atari's history engaging and educational. Highlights include rare items like holograms from a cancelled handheld and a recreated game from the Sword Quest series. The collection is not just about nostalgia, but about understanding the context and significance of each game. While some games, particularly the arcade classics, are best experienced on their original hardware, the emulation provided here is robust, with added features like save states, remappable controls, and CRT-like filters. However, it lacks the rewind function and perfect playthrough manipulation seen in other collections by Digital Eclipse. Notable titles in the collection include Tempest 2000, Yars Revenge, and Warlords. Additionally, quirky games like Vector Sector and Turbo Sub add unique flavors to the mix. Despite some omissions due to licensing issues, Atari 50 provides a comprehensive look into Atari's golden era, filled with interviews, design documents, and other historical insights. Atari 50, the Anniversary Celebration, is a must-have for anyone interested in the history of video games. It beautifully combines gameplay with documentary-style storytelling, offering an unparalleled way to experience Atari's past. At number 2 we have Caverns of Mars Recharged. This game takes you on an obscure Atari 8-bit computer game and reimagines it for modern audiences. You're tasked with descending through caves filled with enemies and traps, armed with limited weapons and health. The unique twist is using weapon recoil to control your speed and direction, adding a layer of strategy as you balance survival and destruction. The game's addictive loop will draw you in. Like Downwell, Caverns of Mars encourages you to keep playing, even after repeated failures, as you descend deeper into its hazardous caverns. It lacks flashy graphics or a grand soundtrack, sticking to the simple atmospheric design that's standard for Atari's Recharge series. However, you will find the gameplay more rewarding on a portable device, where quick sessions shine. The flaws are noticeable, but not deal breakers. Collision detection can be frustrating at times, leading to some unfair deaths, and the game does not offer a wide variety of modes or scenarios. But despite these shortcomings, the core gameplay is so engaging that you'll want to come back for another round. If you're looking for a fast-paced arcade-style game with a retro feel and addictive gameplay loop, Caverns of Mars Recharged is an excellent choice, particularly on Steam decks. While it may not be the most polished entry on Atari's lineup, it manages to deliver fun in a simple, replayable package. At number 3 we have Berzerk Recharged, a modern update to the classic 1980s arcade game where you fight your way through mazes filled with robots trying to kill you. You play as an unnamed space hero, armed with weapons to blast enemies that rush towards you with relentless aggression. The gameplay is straightforward and addictive. You move, shoot, survive, and repeat. Power-ups like bounce shots, shotguns, and speed boosts make each run fresh, though the railgun feels tricky to aim without any helpful indicators. The combat remains the heart of the experience, and the simplicity is what makes Berzerk Recharged feel like a refreshing break from modern gaming complexity. You won't have to craft, strategize, or memorize any deep lore here. Just aim, shoot, and survive. With both an arcade mode and a challenge mode, Berzerk Recharged also includes online leaderboards and local co-op, adding replay value. The retro feel is enhanced with a thumping soundtrack, giving you just the right vibe to keep playing. The difficulty ramps up as you progress, making later levels a real challenge, even for seasoned players. However, the challenge missions can feel repetitive after a while. Berzerk Recharged is perfect for quick gaming sessions where you don't want to overthink things. Its simple pick-up-and-play mechanics make it an easy recommendation for anyone wanting to relive arcade glory days or just kill 10 minutes chasing high scores. At number 4 we have Quantum Recharged, a fast-paced arcade score chaser where you encircle enemies to trap and destroy them, building high scores with skillful movement. The game offers 2 modes, an endless arcade mode focused on climbing the leaderboards, and a challenge mode with preset stages for solo or co-op play. You control your ship with a left stick, drawing vortexes around enemies to capture them, while dashing to evade attacks or close larger circles. The game's simple concept hides a depth of strategy, where taking risks to encircle more enemies at once rewards you with higher multipliers. Power-ups, such as electric shocks or shields, enhance gameplay by adding tactical options, making each run feel fresh. The neon aesthetic and clean UI keeps things visually engaging, especially on an HD screen or Steam Deck. While the techno soundtrack is not particularly memorable, it complements the action well enough. The real star is the gameplay loop, which is as addictive as it is simple. Easy to learn, but challenging to master. You'll find yourself chasing high scores, with quick sessions turning into lengthy playthroughs. Despite its minimal controls, Quantum Recharged stands out thanks to its smooth, responsive movement and risk-reward mechanics. It captures the essence of classic arcade gaming, while introducing enough modern twists to keep you hooked. If you enjoy games that test your reflexes and strategy in equal measure, this one is hard to put down. At number 5 we have Breakout Recharged, a modern reimagining of the classic arcade game Breakout, adding power-ups, neon visuals, and new challenges to the iconic formula. You control a paddle to bounce a ball, breaking blocks while collecting power-ups. Some blocks fight back, shooting bullets or multiplying when hit, adding a new layer of difficulty. The game offers several modes, including arcade mode, for traditional high-score chasing, and a recharge mode, where one mistake means game over. You can also try the classic and classic recharge modes, with or without power-ups. The challenge mode is where Breakout Recharged truly shines, offering 50 different challenges that force you to use strategy and power-ups wisely. These challenges add variety, keeping the game fresh and making you think beyond simply bouncing the ball. With 11 unique power-ups, from ball duplication to trajectory markers, and even bullets that orbit your ball, the game keeps the experience engaging. Whether you're extending your pedal or slowing the action down, the power-ups give a nice tactical edge. If you're a fan of the original, this version is polished and fun, but it might not stand out if you're looking for something groundbreaking. Still, for a co-op experience and a solid arcade throwback, Breakout Recharged is a fun, quick play option. At number 6 we have Yars Recharged, a modern remake of the classic Atari 2600 game Yars Revenge, offering fast-paced twin-stick shooter action with strategic elements. You play as a Yar, an insect-like creature tasked with destroying the Siluret cores. You will break through barriers by shooting or nibbling at them, while dodging projectiles from enemy cores. Collecting yellow orbs along the way powers up your Zorlon cannon, a massive weapon that deals heavy damage, but even with this cannon, you must stay alert to avoid enemy attacks. The game offers 2 main modes, Arcade and Mission. Arcade mode lets you choose bonuses to boost your score, such as Hyper for speed or Heavy damage for destructive power. Mission mode, on the other hand, throws progressively tougher objectives at you, requiring repeated attempts and clever strategies to succeed. The game's challenge intensifies as you go, keeping you hooked with increasingly difficult missions. The visuals capture the essence of the original game, while adding crisp, modern touches. The twin-stick controls are intuitive, and the tutorial makes it easy to dive right in. The only downside is the occasional audio issue, where music fades in and out unexpectedly, but it is a minor distraction in the heat of gameplay. With local multiplayer, online leaderboards, and addictively challenging gameplay, Yars Recharged is a fun, nostalgic experience that'll keep you coming back for more. It's a great blend of old-school charm with fresh, modern appeal. At number 7 we have Gravitar Recharged, a brutally tough remake of the 1982 Atari classic Gravitar. The game throws you into a solar system, filled with planets to conquer, while you pilot a fragile spaceship through challenging gravity-based missions. It's a twin-stick shooter where you need to navigate your ship, destroy enemies, and activate objectives, all while surviving waves of obstacles and aggressive enemies. You rotate your ship with one stick, fire with another, and use a tractor beam to grab power-ups or complete objectives. The game's controls are precise, but difficult to master, especially with gravity pulling you towards certain doom. Missions vary from destroying enemies to activating beacons and reactors, each of escalating difficulty. Even when you think you've got the hang of things, the game ramps up, pushing your skills to the limit. The visuals have received a major upgrade, with gorgeous simple backgrounds that complement the neon glow of enemies and objectives. Power-ups like the spread gun and homing shot provide temporary relief, but the game's difficulty never lets up. With both arcade and mission modes, you're in for a long, tough ride. Gravitar Recharged is undeniably hard, but incredibly rewarding if you enjoy a challenge. The soundtrack by Megan McDuffie adds an eerie tension as you fight for survival. If you're up for mastering a game that constantly pushes back, this one will test your resolve, and maybe your patience. At number 8 we have Missile Command Recharged, a modern update to the classic Atari game, blending neon visuals and intense gameplay. You take on the role of defending cities from relentless waves of incoming missiles, aircraft, and tanks using 3 turrets. Each turret launches counter-missiles, aiming to intercept threats before they destroy your cities. The game offers 2 modes, Arcade and Missions. Arcade mode is endless, challenging you to survive as long as possible while upgrading your turret's power, speed, reload, and rebuild times. As you progress, the enemies grow faster, smarter, and more destructive. Missions mode provides 32 challenges, introducing different power-ups and ranking you on leaderboards against other players. The gameplay is fast-paced and unforgiving. You'll need quick reflexes to predict enemy missile paths and fire counter-missiles in time. Power-ups help shift the odds in your favor, like larger explosions or screen-clearing bombs, but you'll still need to stay sharp. Visually, Missile Command Recharge stands out of its colorful, retro-style graphics, including city skylines and palm trees in the background. The soundtrack, by Megan McDuffie, adds a pulsing energy to each tense moment. Missile Command Recharged successfully revitalizes a classic game with modern features, like new missions, power-ups, and a fresh aesthetic, all while staying true to its challenging roots. It is a thrilling tower defense experience that keeps you on your toes from start to finish, perfect for quick sessions or hours of strategic fun. At number 9 we have Asteroids Recharged, a modern take on the classic arcade shooter, bringing fast-paced, nostalgic action with a fresh twist. You play as a spaceship in the center of the screen, tasked with shooting down asteroids while dodging UFOs that try to take you out. The gameplay stays true to the original formula, shooting asteroids to break them apart, each fragment speeding up the challenge. But this time, there's an exciting addition: power-ups. When you shoot down UFOs, you get access to weapons like a spread shot or railgun, which can save you in critical moments. There's also the thrill of using black hole mechanics, sucking in everything nearby. One life, one shot at a high score. It is intense, especially when things get chaotic. In addition to the arcade mode, the game offers 30 challenge missions to test your skills. These challenges familiarize you with power-ups and add a fun, competitive edge. You can also play in local co-op and climb online leaderboards. The neon-drenched graphics and Megan McDuffie's synth-heavy soundtrack complement the gameplay beautifully, giving it a fresh, energetic vibe. However, while it captures the arcade magic, the game does not stray far from the formula of other Recharged titles. Some may wish for more variety or a nod to the original's history. Still, if you're a fan of retro shooters or quick addictive gameplay, Asteroids Recharged is easy to recommend. It's simple, fun, and perfect for short bursts of action. At number 10 we have Centipede Recharged, a modern revamp of the classic 1980s arcade shooter, designed for fans both old and new. You control a tiny ship at the bottom of the screen, tasked with blasting centipedes, spiders, and other creepy crawlies that swarm down towards you. The game remains faithful to its arcade roots, but with modern upgrades. The twist? It is slower pace and more survival focused than ever before. You only get one life, and your goal is to rack up as high a score as possible before the inevitable game over. Power-ups, which drop when you defeat spiders, become your lifeline. They're essential, since your base gun only fires one bullet at a time, making it feel frustratingly weak, especially as the screen fills with mushrooms and poisonous obstacles. These mushrooms block your shots and limit your movement, adding a challenging layer of strategy. Graphically, Centipede Recharged opts for a vector art style that's consistent with other Atari Recharged titles. While it's visually clean, it loses the pastel charm of the original, and some color schemes, like the green and purple palette, feel uninspired. Unfortunately, the game also lacks the iconic telep telep sound effect from the classic. Centipede Recharged delivers a decent arcadey experience. While the slower gameplay may not appeal to those seeking more intense action, it offers some nostalgic fun with power-ups and leaderboard competition. The base gun's weakness and reliance on luck for the right power-ups might frustrate you, but it is still a good option for a short burst of arcade entertainment. At number 11 we have Black Widow Recharged, a modern revamp of the 1982 twin-stick arcade classic, blending nostalgia with updated graphics. You control a spider, defending its web from waves of invading bugs, utilizing quick reflexes and power-ups to survive as long as possible. This remake introduces the one life setup, common to the Atari Recharge series, meaning once you die, it is game over. Unlike the original, where you had multiple lives, this design choice ramps up the intensity, but also makes the game feel like it should have been part of the larger collection rather than a standalone title. Graphically, Black Widow Recharged opts for a vector art style that, while reminiscent of the original, feels bland compared to the visually striking 80s arcade version. The game suffers from the same aesthetic pitfalls as other Recharge titles, lacking unique identity and polish. Despite this, the gameplay itself can be thrilling. You use bombs strategically, clearing out wedges of enemies, though a slight delay between firing and impact keeps you on your toes. Power-ups are essential, but some, like the slow short-range exploding bullets, are frustratingly ineffective and can lead to quick deaths. The lack of a health meter and a chaotic swarm of enemies means survival often comes down to fast reactions and a bit of luck. Though it does not surpass the original, Black Widow Recharged offers an enjoyable, fast-paced arcade experience. It is fun in short bursts, but its limitations and repetitive design might leave you wanting more depth or variety. At number 12 we have Yars Rising, a modern reimagining of the Atari 2600 classic, bringing a Metroidvania twist to a game that you would not expect. This action-packed adventure combines nostalgia with new gameplay elements to create something fresh and exciting. You play as Emi Yar Kimura, a heroine with a vendetta against the Kotak Corporation. Armed with various weapons and abilities, you infiltrate their headquarters, facing waves of enemies and solving puzzles. As you progress, you unlock new powers, expanding your exploration and making each area feel more dynamic. WayForward's knack for tight controls makes the gameplay fluid and rewarding, while the design offers a smooth learning curve that keeps you hooked. The visuals in Yars Rising are sleek, with fluid animations and diverse enemy designs, though it does rely heavily on robots. Still, Emi's character design strikes a balance between cute and fierce, adding charm to the experience. The game also incorporates nostalgic minigames inspired by Yars' Revenge, offering a fun nod to its origins. The soundtrack is a unique element of the game, blending original tunes with Atari-inspired tones that fit the game's retro-modern vibe perfectly. Whether you're a fan of the original or new to the series, the sound design keeps you immersed. Yars Rising may not redefine the Metroidvania genre, but it offers an engaging and polished experience. With its blend of nostalgia and fresh mechanics, this is a game you'll find yourself enjoying from start to finish. Just note that this bundle gives you a 10% off coupon, as opposed to the game itself. At number 13 we have Atari 50 Expanded Edition DLC Bundle. This bundle within a bundle brings more content to an already rich retro experience. If you love Atari's history, these expansions dive deeper into the brand's influence with new games, documentaries, and interviews that celebrate the legacy of the company. The Wider World of Atari, the first DLC, adds 19 new games, spanning from arcade classics to underappreciated Atari 2600 gems like Berzerk and Atari Football. It's not just the games though. Digital Eclipse brings you new video content that uncovers more of Atari's backstory. You'll explore rare game prototypes, hear from legendary designers Al Alcorn, and discover how the famous Atari Fuji logo came to be. The games are well emulated and easy to navigate, with a clean interface that's familiar if you've played the base game. Despite the nostalgia, the DLC has its quirks. Some users report performance issues with certain games, and achievements remain limited, leaving collectors a bit disappointed. However, for the price, the content offers good value for fans of Atari's rich history. The first console war is all about Atari's rivalry with Intellivision, featuring 19 more games, including rare prototypes from M Network. It enriches the timeline with new interviews from early industry pioneers. For fans of retro gaming history, it is another goldmine of content. This second DLC will be released on the 8th of November this year, so that's something to look forward to. These DLC bundles are fantastic if you're a fan of Atari's legacy, but some rough edges may make it less appealing for casual players. Just know that this bundle gives you a 10% off coupon, as opposed to the game bundle itself. And that's all for this bundle. Atari Recharged Retro Revival Bundle lets you rediscover the legendary legacy of Atari through an incredible selection of over 100 playable games. With both classic titles and innovative reimaginations, this bundle is perfect for both new players and nostalgic fans. Do not miss this opportunity to celebrate Atari's impact on gaming. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Special thanks to Locatus of Borg and Nirvana Man for donating to the channel last week. You guys are awesome! From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.